Hi everybody, welcome to the channel for a new battle report. So this is another practice game. This time I played against Demon Legion with a new, slightly different list from myself. So what I changed, didn't change much from core. What I changed is basically I wanted to try out the second Kadim Titan instead of the Incarnate. So I brought the Kadim Titan with rocket battery. And then I removed the other anointed unit I think I got for an enforcer unit basically. To make it fit the points and also be able to fit the binding scroll. So basically that's I think the only three changes that I made compared to last game. My opponent was playing the following list, so it's a Demon Legion around 2 Greater Demon. He has the Scourge and Cyberesh, both with a lot of stuff. They are an Adept. We have then 2 units of Succubi with Divining Snout, 12 Imps with Accurate, and they've also Bound and of Heaven, small version. 6 Claw Fiends with Plumage, so it's -1. Offensive, defensive, full command, the Opa Vester, Engine of Damnation that we see quite a lot at the moment. So especially the Opa Vester with the Aura of Despair, I think is quite powerful. And then we have the 6 Whirl Serpent with a Champion. We were playing randomly a Marching Column, King of the Hill, and below you have the spell selection. Here I think I can point out on my spell selection the fact that I didn't pick Rot Within. I think would have been a better choice probably than either the Toxic Breath or the Ward Save. I think the Toxic Breath would have been nice to have Rot Within, I think, in this game, and the Toxic Breath. Yeah, we can debate. I think it's a decent spell selection. It's more, I felt sometimes Rot Within could have been maybe more impactful than the Ward Save spell. I think it's more about this one that I would have considered a switch. Matchup analysis, so we have an aggressive DL list that won't take much point from range, meaning it's going to try to rush me. 2 Greater Demon I think are the main threat in the matchup. If I'm able to deal with them, I should be in a good shape. Obviously good to start in this setup, so we have an aggressive list that's going to come towards me, so that's the first reason. Reason number 2, it's Marching Column, so you are quite happy to be able to start when the opponent has to drop already 3 drops. And third reason, I think it's also the fact that with King of the Hill, I can basically make them as close as possible to each other, where my opponent would most likely pick the opposite and basically put space between both. The estimation of the matchup, put an unstable, I think it depends a lot on the first roll who can start. Deployment wise, so unfortunately I won't roll for side, but it's good for training. I think it's always nice. I'm always happy in training when I get the most difficult configuration, because I think it's this way that you learn the most. So basically I gave him the impossible, which I think makes sense, and I picked the lake. So obvious choices here. The lake is the easiest piece of terrain to defend because it's partially in my deployment zone. He picked on the opposite side the wall, which makes sense as well to try to put distance between both secondary objective. We both started from the right. He started with Claw Fiends, where I put straight the Shooty Titan. So basically my idea, which didn't work out, was to put the rocket on the right flank and just tell him you cannot put any Greater Demon here, because if you do, you are at risk to get shot multiple times by rocket batteries, which can be very dangerous for Scourge or Cyberesh. So basically that was what I tried to do, but he still decided after he saw the first 3 drop to put the Scourge here. So yeah, Fiends, Succubi and Imps were his 3 drop, where I started with the Kadim Titan, so Shooty Titan, the big brick of Blunderbuss Great Weapon Warrior, and then the Slaves. And after that he dropped for first turn, so he put the Scourge and Cyberesh on both flank, second Succubi near to his piece of terrain to defend, the Veil Serpent and the Engine in the middle. My counter deployment, I debated a bit, but I put a high priority to deny him Fate Judgment early on, which I think I struggled a bit. I stretched out the BSB. It was a bit annoying the way I deployed in the early stages to play with the list and make sure everything is within 12 of the BSB. Basically, these 3 units need to be a bit closer from each other to make it more comfortable. And this limited somehow a bit my choices during the game. So I think not the best choice from comfort perspective, but I tried to play what made more sense for me. So I put this Kadim Titan in the middle, far away from Cyberesh, and basically I felt he can go straight and kill anything in front of him. Then I put the Bastion with the BSB. The Mage is right here in this unit. Then here we have the 6 Anointed, which I felt were my best weapon against Sibaresh. I felt they have the best chances of fighting Sibaresh. And then on the far left, maybe too far, I put my Enforcer. They are going to go for the wall. I want it to be a distraction. Maybe I could have wheeled a bit more, be a bit closer from them, but that's more or less it. And I think here one major mistake that I did was to put the Lamassu so far away from the Anointed, because basically if you push hard from the right, I'm going to be too far to put a flammable token or attribute from alchemy on Sibaresh or anything else. So basically the Lamassu should have been more in the middle to be able to go right or left depending what happens. Let's start with this turn 1. So he pushed hard with both Greater Demon. He didn't care about my possible charge. So basically use here the Table Edge to make sure that I can only charge with the Titan. I cannot charge with both. He has a counter charge setup basically. And you can see my warriors, so you can see plenty of stuff, so it's going to be interesting. He pushes well with the Fiends and Succubi, but not that much. I don't have any easy charge on them. He pushed a bit too much with the Orb Harvester in the middle. He has no shooting range turn 1, I minimized that. But he wanted to get into favorable position, so we'll see what I do. And Sibaresh push max. Basically, leave me with a charge. He tells me it's an easy charge, but then I go in the ring and he has a nice counter charge from the Succubi, with me having no chaff option in this part of the map. So basically the big question is, can I go through Sibaresh in one round? And the answer is pretty much easy to figure out. Without any attribute from alchemy or incendiary token, I have no chance to go through Sibaresh in one round. The question would be completely different if the Lamassu was closer to the middle. Also, those guys being a bit far away to countercharge, like I told you. If I was a bit further up, then I can threaten with a multi-charge, and it start to make him think twice about this movement. So here I think I didn't manage so well the left flank. Magic Face, it's card number 1. He 4 dice Twisted Effigy on the Bastion. I tried to 4 dice to dispel, and I didn't manage. He got 16, I got 15. Then he got Smite the Unbeliever, -1 Resilience on my Troika Anointed on the left, which I didn't matter too much to me because I wasn't going to charge anyway. And with shooting attack, he managed to do 1 wound with the imps on my Kalim Titan in the middle. My turn 1. So I checked out what were my options. I see this charge here. It's a 10 Swift. So I felt this big opportunity with overrun into the imps. Even if I get stuck, it's not that bad. If I fail charge, nothing crazy can happen to me, can counter charge me. So I felt this is a no-brainer. 10 is doable, and I managed to get the charge. So I got that charge with overrun on 7 Swift Ride and the imps. I think here, if I manage to go through in one round and go into the imps, then it's huge, I think, in the game, because he has a free pivoting Kadim Titan in his backline that I can do what I want with it, and this is going to be so hard for him to recover. So I felt this is a game-breaking moment. Then I positioned this Kadim Titan with Rocket Battery facing the Scourge. Basically, the idea was the Scourge cannot see this unit with my level 4, who is within 12 of the Scourge, so I can go Mark for Doom, Grave Call, and Rocket Battery. All of that against the Scourge. We'll see what's left of him after that. It's short range Rocket Battery as well, so it's 4 up, 4 shots, multiple wound D3. We'll see how that goes. I chaffed the Succubi. Those guys are not chaffed. You can double charge those guys. What I made sure basically, it's no matter what charge the Kalim Titan, even the Scourge with a reform, I'm going to be able to countercharge with the Warriors, which is what I wanted. I positioned my Bastion the best I could to get also line of sight here in case he countercharge me. If I'm stuck, I can countercharge him. And I move back with my Troika Anointed, a bit of the forest. I push here, but again, not the best position. I should have had a line of sight or at the position if he decide to charge me, or if he decide not to do it, to be threatened with a back charge and stuff like that. So here, again, not the best play from the Enforcers. Magic Face, card 1, which is bad news because any other card would have been much better. Here I cannot really 4 dice Grave Call, it would be too risky for me. And I'm going to do multiple mistakes in this Magic Phase. I'm going to 2 dice Hereditary on the Engine of Damnation. I'm going to fail that cast on the 6 on 2 dice. And after that I'm going to 3 dice Mark for Doom. And then I'm going to get a ward save on the Kadim Titan on the right, which I think that's not bad. I think what would have been the best choice, because it's pretty I mean, it's game changing if I can get Hereditary off on the engine. Would make me hit me on 3+, wounding on 4+ rollable, 3 or 3+ rollable. I don't remember which toughness he has, but also for the grind and stuff. I think here getting a reroll could have been really huge. So I think that my first spell should have been 3 dice Hereditary, and then with the 3 remaining dice, we can debate if it's, I think, a boosted Gravecall has still a good chance of getting through, and if he does, can do huge damage. So I think that should have been my choice. The ward save on the Titan, sure, it's nice, but it's not as impactful as Hereditary, for example, on the engine. So not so easy about my choice, not so happy about my choices here, but I think I didn't recognize the fact that I would need something to reroll on the engine to augment my chance to go through. Shooting with the rocket, I did only 1 wound on the Scourge. Close combat, yeah, the Titan roll okay, pretty average, and I just missed 1 wound to be able to go through, because he did nothing to me. He lost by 4, and he had one wound left. So as you can see, I rolled good on the grind and slightly below average, but still totally okay on my attack, and that's only 3 wounds. He did nothing to me, so I was a bit lucky here. I think, like I said, Hereditary here could have been really huge. We can even consider the fact that if it's not worth 4 dice, even on the card number 1, I mean, if I get that off and I go through, it's huge. So I don't know about 4 dice, but at least 3 dice. So Titan gets stuck and didn't lose any wound, but he's going to be able to countercharge me after my reform. His turn 2 is going to get some charges, so he gets Siberish onto my Anointed, which surprised me a little bit. I felt, okay, surprising. Got the charge off, was like a 6. I passed my third check, rerollable. He charged Succubi into the Chaff. He charged the Fiends to lock my Titan. Pass his March check on the 9 with the Scourge to chaff my big brick of Great Weapon guy with the Mage in it. And he countercharged the combat with the Veil Serpent with Poison Attack in the flank of the Titan. So we'll see how that go. 1 wound left here. I have a counter charge here. It's slightly too far. It's on a 9 on 2 dice. Annoying. I think here I didn't threaten him enough with the counter charge of the Bastion. If it was like a 7 or something like that, I don't know if we would have made it, or at least I wouldn't have been too afraid to counter charge. Right now, if I fail the counter charge, I'm in a bad shape and I miss a shooting phase. So we will see what I decide to do. I Binding Scroll in Magic Phase, reroll to wound, because if you get that off on the Clofins, it's too much of a trouble for my Cadim Titan on the right on a decisive combat phase. Then he's able to get -1 resilience. I think I dispel -1 resilience and leadership on the Titan, yeah, with all my dice, and then he gets -1 resilience from Smite. He was out of Smite range. I checked that on my Titan, so that was nice. But basically was able to get Smite -1 resilience on my Anointed, which didn't matter too much. And before that, he failed the reroll to hit on his Siberish. Imps did 2 wounds to my Lamassu, who is starting to be in trouble. Close combat on the right. So starting here, he did 2 wounds to me, I did 2 wounds to him. He has a charge, a rank, and a standard. I lose by 3. It's a check on a 6, and I pass it. Which is huge, because it was the key combat phase where he had a lot of static. So happy about that. The Veil Serpent did only 1 wound to me. I do 1 wound to the Serpent, and I completely fluff against the... You saw the stat just before. So this time I rolled 0 wound on my grind against this guy. So yeah, it's 3 chance over 4. So it's like 73% chance of killing him. And he didn't manage to do it, so he's still alive, which, yeah, is a problem. But I wanted to split the attack, because the Veil Serpent, I can do more result on them than against the big monster. So I felt the smart choice is to do only the grind, but he's still alive, which is annoying. Do I have some charts? I do. So those guys, as you can see, they are not so likely to do so many wounds against a 4 Broad Save Titan. They did only 1 wound, which is completely okay. I have more stats, so this is the stat of my Anointed against Siberish. Hitting on 5, wounding on 5. I have no reroll right now, so I did only on Siberish. I did only, I think, 1 wound. He did 4 wounds to me. I think he did, yeah, 4 wounds to me, something like that. But I managed to stick. And after that, we have here my turn 2. So we have this is stuck in combat. left. What else happened? I moved back here with the Lamassu to be out of range. I elected not to countercharge here. It's a bit too far. It's charged on a 9. I didn't feel okay to try it because there's a lot of units looking at me, especially here the Sukubai, also in good position. So I felt this is going to be a bit difficult. So what I did is basically move the Bastion and all those blunderbuss. So it's 36 shot on the Scourge. Going to try that. My level 4 occultist move right here. Going to try another turn of magic. And my BSB also move out of the unit and is sitting right here to be able to give 12 to everybody. It's a long charge for the Scourge, so it's fine. Here we start. Yeah, that's it. In magic phase, I got +1 armor save on the big brick here. I think the right choice would have been on the Bastion, but the key element was to put reroll to wound on the Sibarish, which I got. Then other than that, what else do I have? I tried to do Grave Call on 4 dice, but he dispelled with 4 dice on his Scourge. I got he dispelled Hereditary as well, so I only got the +1 armor save. And I got also then with 2 dice the ward save spell on the Kadim Titan to put him back for a ward save. 36 shots on the Scourge, so I have a couple of stats for you. So that's the 36 shot. I did manage only to do 1 wound, as you can see. Yeah, I mean, I could even a 4% chance of one-shotting him. I mean, some chance to do a bit more than that, like 3 wounds would have been nice, but only 1. So the Scourge are still a lot of wounds. Then we have a couple of stats here. We have here World Serpent, I think, against myself, and that's my stat to kill his engine, which I didn't manage to do. No, I managed this time to do it. Yeah, this time I kill the engine, do some wounds on the World Serpent, which end up being a check on a -2 for him. I think that he passed, but I win. I did 4 wounds, he did 1 wound total. So this time I win it, but he passed the check, so he doesn't suffer any more wounds on the Veil Serpent, which is bad for me. And Sibarish, he ended up doing 3 wounds to me. I do 2 wounds to him, and it's a draw, basically. So it's a draw. So that's how it went. Let's continue. So he's turn 3. He charges with his Sukubai onto my Anointed, and yeah, it's going to be tough right now. He charged with the Scourge and the Sukubai into the Bastion, also going to be a tough combat. And here, my Titan are only 2 wounds left against the World Serpent, so I'm not right now. If you ask me, I'm not in a good shape at all. Basically, what I made sure is, no matter what happened here, I have good likelihood of holding Steadfast. And if I do, and even if I don't, I have good countercharge with this brick, either in the Fiends or here on the left. So I still have some things to do with the big brick. Still have all my characters, no overrun for him. So we'll see how that goes. Depends also what happened on the left. So it's going to be a key turn. Stand and shoot with the Bastion on the Sukubai, kill 2. And the Imps also tried to charge the flank of the Bastion on a 10, which he didn't manage to do. I don't know if it was the right idea or not. Interesting. Try to break me, but then the Imps yeah, also a twist to giving me some combat results, but interesting charge that he failed. I dispel -1 leadership and resilience on my Bastion, and then he managed to do reroll to wound but lost the spell in the process. And he also got a random smite which did -1 strength on my Bastion unit. Close combat. So let's see what happened. I think I have a better picture. Yeah, exactly. I have this one. So here we are on the left, and he killed with Sibarish 1 Anointed. I have 3 Anointed back. They all strike at Sibarish. Reroll to wound again. Last round was already reroll to wound, and this time I managed to get the 20% chance of one-shotting him. So I kill Sibarish. He still breaks me because it's a check this time on the -4. I failed the 5 rollable check. And the Anointed flee off the board, they pursue me, they end up right here, but I kill Sibarish in the process, so that's not bad. The Veil Serpent killed the Kadim Titan, and this big combat, he leaves me with only 4 guys alive, which is enough to give me Steadfast. I pass my Steadfast check, and right here I win. I'm starting to win the grind. I do more wounds than he did, and he's losing also in combat rest, so this is not bad at all. My next turn, we have the multiple charges, so I'm going for it, basically. So I get the BSB charging here in the corner against the Sukubai. I get the Lamassu charging here in this corner, and I get my big brick of Infernal Warrior charging the Scourge. The idea being the champion here, which passes DT, which was key in my plan, because if I failed this DT, it would have been the end of the world, or the end of the game, better said. But basically the idea is to challenge with the champion against the Scourge. He has to accept it, and after that get with all my attack breast weapon on the Scooby and win it on combat result. I move my level 4 right here. He was in combat. In the magic phase, I get, and I also lost in the process 6 dwarfs from DT, which was huge. Charge on a 7 for the BSB, just for information, and charge on the 5 Swift Ride for the Lamassu, just for information. Magic phase, I get +1 armor save on the Bastion to get reroll to wound on the Lamassu breast weapon on the Scooby. And then I 4 dice breast weapon on the Bastion. My opponent had only 5 dice to dispel, and I managed to get a 20. So I get a lucky roll. So it's a 3rd breast weapon for this combat. My opponent didn't try to dispel it. I think he kept for another spell, because it's hard to do 20 with 5 dice. Close combat, he lose more wound on the right, so not much fiends alive. And the big combat with the Scourge, get the challenge. I use all 3 breast weapon, and I just wipe the 15 remaining Sukubai between all my attack from the BSB, Lamassu, the Stomp, and the 3 breast weapon. I managed to kill all Sukubai, and basically the Scourge is in auto break or auto pop mod. So basically the Scourge dies, Sukubai dies. I reform everything except the Lamassu, who overrun out of the action and ended up right here in the front. So this was the big combat. As you can see, corner clipping the BSB, striking here the Bastion, using the breast weapon, and the Lamassu as well. So 6d6 strength 3, 2d6 of them with reroll to wound was just too much for 15 Sukubai. So quite happy about this turn of event. His turn 4, it's not the end. He charges me with Veil Serpent, turn around with Sukubai. Here, as you can see, I'm going to get secondary. I'm going to try to defend this one the best I can. Here we're still stuck in combat. In the magic phase, he gets he tried to 5 dice smite the Unbeliever. I dispel with 6. He got then the small Hand of Heaven, did nothing on my Lamassu. I got Twisted Effigy, big version with 2 dice on my Master Occultism, which is a nice choice, and then with shooting he finished Lamassu. On the right, I did another couple of wounds, but we're still stuck in combat, unfortunately. And this combat here, I did 1 wound, he did 2 wounds to me. I have a 7 rollable, which I pass, which is good news for me. My turn 4, I counter charge here on the 7. I get that charge off, move my BSB in front of the Sukubai to just block the counter charge. Should be fine. Move this guy a bit in back. He was still stuck in combat, and those guys chill, ready to score. In the magic phase, I got breast weapon on the BSB, which killed 2 Sukubai. I failed Grave Call, failed the ward save. Kadim Titan finish the fiends. And close combat, he rolled crazy good with the Veil Serpent. And he did like 3 wounds on the Bastion, and like another 3 wounds to my Warrior, which I did pretty much nothing. I did 1 wound with the Warrior, and that was it. He ward saved the crush attack. I did pretty much, I did really shit, and he managed to stick, and nothing crazy. I think it was even a draw on the combat result, which is crazy. So we stick here. He's turn 5. He charged my BSB, but as you can see, cannot overrun after that, even if he get through, and I think I shouldn't be able to stick with a 1-up armor save. Here I turn around, he doesn't move, ready to shoot me to death. In the magic phase, hasn't much spell left. I think he try again to 5 dice smite. I dispel with 7 dice. The bound spell on the Kadim Titan did nothing. He failed this time with 2 dice, the big Twisted Effigy, and the Imps finishes my Kadim Titan, which is sad, but that's what happened with strength 5 shots. Shooting, I managed this time to get a crush attack, plus 6 wound from the Warriors, so much better. They rolled crazy good, and it just popped this time. So it's crazy that on the charge, I didn't manage to do it, and now after the charge, I managed to pop him. So that was for me a big surprise here. Anyway, so that's the start of the Imps. As you can see, 22% chance of one-shotting the Titan, which he managed to do. My turn 5, turn around, ready to shoot the imps, even with the ward save, but basically to defend the lake, to get secondary. Here I countercharge with the Bastion onto the Sukubai. Yeah, I didn't tell you, but round before, he did nothing to my BSB. Yeah, 1-up armor save, is only AP1. And I managed to do a couple of wounds, like 2 wounds. So 2 wounds with a BSB versus a rank, a charge, and a banner, which was a tie. So now I charge with the Bastion. I tried to get Grave Call on the imps, did only 2 wounds. Breath Weapon on the BSB was Dispel. I failed the ward save on 2 dice. Shooting, he passes 6 ward save 3 up, so I did nothing. And Close Combat, I did 2 wounds. He did 1 wound to me, and he stick the -1 check, so we stay like that. Yeah, the imps are still alive. They just move a bit back, shoot at my guys, nothing happens. My level 4 is still here, my BSB is still here. This time a bit crazy in combat. He managed to pass all ward save, and he did 2 wounds to my Bastion. Basically, I lose by a bunch. I have 2 times 6-up rerollable. I failed the Bastion, who fled on 1 wound, and I pass on the BSB. And on my turn, going to rally the Bastion. The BSB is going to basically rolling okay to tie, going to get some shot, but nothing significant. And that's the end of the game, which ended up being a 13 plus 3 for the secondary objective, which is 16-4, so very lively game. Didn't start well, didn't deploy perfectly, but I still managed to recover. Post-game analysis, so deployment, yeah, stretching a bit the BSB range, probably over-respected Fate Judgment. I think the best choice would have been Kadim Titan on the left, Toruk and 90 next to them, and then the Bastion next to the second brick of Blunderbuss. Turn 1, Infernal, wrong choice in Magic, like I told you, Hereditary was key. Questionable charge from the point of view of Demon. I think the right choice would have been to put Sibaresh in a corner trapping position of the Anointed to basically avoid me to charge, and then he can push max with Sukubai. Turn 2, Demon and ID. The Bastion counter charge was too far, meaning I didn't do it. I should have secured like a charge on 7, then it was tryable. Turn 3, Infernal Dwarf, triple breath was too much for the Sukubai, and solid performance from the Anointed. They stick a first check, that was a bit complicated, where I lost by a bunch. And after that, they managed to do good wounds to not have to check anymore, or they broke at the end, but they killed Sibaresh before that. And Forces, nice to score, but I could have provided 2 time was the positioning round. I should have provided a counter charge. BSB was solid in combat, but my range damage in Magic didn't do much. As you saw, I did like 1 wound with... I think I did nothing on the Scourge. Like 2-3 imps, 2-3 Sukubai, nothing too crazy, and then the key breast weapon on the Bastion, but that was it. So not much from Occultism here, especially against his big target. Imps shooting is always amazing. They finished the Lamassu, they finished Titan, so they did a lot. And yeah, I was happy to be able to show you again the charts on the battle report. I think here plenty of interesting stuff to check out with the stat. Especially, for example, in a live game, I would have said that my 3 Anointed killing Sibaresh is a big scandal. Actually, it's 20% chance, so it's not that unlikely. So it's really interesting to check that and to basically validate or invalidate some of the decision made during the battle. So really happy to get that back. If the person that is managing this tool, who hosted it again on a different platform, web-based platform, sees the video, I would like to thank him, because I really love those charts. Guys, that's all for this battle report. I hope you liked it. Next one will be trying out some slightly different. So I'm still, as you can see, trying out some different version of the list. I have some concept of the list that I really like, the core and so on. I'm really happy what I've got. Now it's more about choosing the details and yeah, basically until I find the perfect combination for me, the perfect setup. But definitely a lot of interesting choice in the ID book at the moment. Guys, thanks a lot for watching. I'm going to talk to you soon on the channel. Bye.